What up? What up? What up? Swentocracy, motherfucking viewers. We are back. We are not back. We are doing something a bit different. We are doing a MegaBonk tier list. A tier list of all of the characters and how I think this. Okay, hold on. Let me just take a pause here. Disclaimer. This is my opinion. Personal opinion. Personal opinion. So, if you have any concerns, questions, or ideas or opinions about if a character should be moved somewhere else, please let me know down in the comments and we will have a good, nice chat. But again, this is my tier list, my opinion. We're going to be doing 2 tier list videos. One for casual playing and one for more of like end game runs, stronger runs, and how those characters change and how those characters fare. Now, I have a feeling you are looking at the tier list and seeing 5 blacked out characters. 5. There are 5 characters I currently have not unlocked, and I will be not sharing my opinion on them. Due to the fact that I don't have an opinion because I've never played them. I haven't done a single run on any of them. I haven't unlocked them yet. I will not be sharing my opinion on them. Everybody else I have done either 10 or more runs on. So I have a vague idea of what is good, what goes well with them, what doesn't. Now, I am currently actually streaming me trying to get these characters and get good runs. If you want to see me try to do good runs, please feel free. Description is my Twitch will be in the description. Please feel free. Stop by, say hi, and just be chill. But without further ado, let's get into it, dude. Now, we're starting off with the OGs. Now, these are in also, sorry, another disclaimer. These are all in order of top to bottom in the game. So that's the order. Now, we're starting off with the OG Fox. We're just going to put him in B tier for now. That's not where he's going. Fox, for a casual run, you know, you're not trying to break any records, not trying to get on the boards, I think is an A tier. I think his passive ability could be very good and be very helpful. But that's also why he's in A tier. If his passive was a bit different or better, he would be in an S tier. But his passive doesn't really allow him to scale into anything that will help him damage-wise or attack speed-wise or really anything other than just luck. Now, granted, luck is a very important stat in the game, especially for more longevity runs. That's why I feel comfortable putting Fox in A tier. He's a good starter character. He's a strong starter character. The Fire Staff, pretty good. Not too terrible. I think he's an A tier. Now, on to Sir Uffi. Now, I really dislike the sword. I dislike the sword weapon a great amount, mainly for its weak, very, very weak early game. Its early game is super, super weak, not strong. It's really hard to do damage, get EXP, get clearing, especially wave clear if you don't have the right tomes or the right upgrades for it. It's very difficult. Also having the knockback. Granted, the knockback is good in sometimes, but the knockback is also a big detriment. It is really hard to clear bosses because sometimes they'll just knock the boss off the map and then it's rough. Also, doing the challenge totems. That's hard because there's a good chance you're gonna knock all of them off the map. That is why Sir Uffi is going into C tier. Not terrible. I enjoy his drip. I think the night drip goes fucking crazy. Drippy as fuck. But I also do like his passive ability of gaining 1% armor per level. I think that could be pretty good. Not A or S tier good, but C, B tier kind of okay, you know, not terrible, but also not, you know, something to write home about. Calcium. Getting a fucking boner just looking at him. Calcium, I think, is a strong A tier. Honestly, strong A tier. You know, like I can see the debate of putting him in A and S tier. I can see the debate because he's very, very strong. He's very potent, very, very good. His weapon, the bone, super, super good. I really enjoy using it. It's really good for like wave clear. It's really good for just raw, not really raw damage, but I think it's really good for wave clear. I think like being able to have the projectile bouncing, have extra projectiles. It's really, really good for those waves. It's really strong. I think his passive is extremely, extremely strong if you build into it. You know, your damage dictating how fast you go could really, 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 you know, be good. But it's also, I feel like it's going to be a bit hard to do like those AFKs, like the AFK farming, where you just kind of like, when you do like those long, really long, like leaderboard runs, where you're just kind of sitting still in the middle and everything's just getting wiped. I feel like his passive isn't as good for that. It's really not as usable and useful in those situations, but still very strong, very strong A tier. I can see a debate for S tier. Personally, in my heart, I think he's an A tier. Moving on to Mega Chad. Now, Mega Chad is he's a special character. Starting with the like Aura is kind of its own weapon. It's very much its own due to the fact that it's kind of dots. It's damage over time. That's what dots means. I don't know if you didn't know what dots means. Dots means damage over time. It's not just raw damage, it's damage over time because you're sitting there and the thing go ding, 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 whatever. Now, depending on how you build Mega Chad, your runs can go in. There's really one way to build him, and that is kind of like, you know, AFK, you know, with certain items, with certain tomes, certain weapons, you just sit there AFK and you just farm. I think Mega Chad is going to go into a good B tier. I really don't like his passive flex. In my mind, it's a good passive. I just think the devs need to add a marker or a sound cue or an indicator for when flex is up, because it's hard to, you know, either count or keep track of it while you're focused on other things, like where you are on the map, focus on the time, focus on your character, where you're moving, doing all that stuff, focusing and thinking about your tomes, your weapons, stuff like that, and trying to make progression. I feel like counting just adds another thing to do, and I think they should add like either a sound cue or a visual indicator of when it's back up, and then I think he could go up a little bit higher because then it's easier to get value out of it. For now, I think he's a good B tier. We're trugging along. Ogre, I think has like, if we were just going off of passives, I think Ogre's passive is easy S tier. Getting raw, just like if you have an EXP tome, you're gonna be getting a lot of levels, and his passive being he gets percent strength, like strength per level, can really just put you through the fucking moon, dude. Put you through the moon. I've been playing this game for at least 2 weeks. And I have been through at least 3 or 4 leaderboards. Ogre, I swear to God, Ogre has been on those leaderboards almost every time. At least in the top 10. Top 10, top 11, he's been in there. Honestly, like, he like, axes are kind of shit. I personally dislike the axes because I don't like that the projectiles don't really move that far. I think he's actually a strong A tier. I think he's a good, strong A tier. I just think his passive is so fucking strong, and there's so much you can do with his passive that I think that carries him up a couple of tiers. Axes are kind of mid. He also, personally, to me, he feels like the slowest character in the game for some fucking reason. I don't know. We're clanking along to Clank. Ooh. Now, Clank is one of my personal favorite characters. He It's a three-way tie with Bandit, Monkey, and Clank are my three like fucking, you know, standout favorite characters. But I think Clank is going to go into C tier. I think Clank goes into C tier. I really do personally like Clank. I just don't think Clank is that strong. Like, he's strong. Like, okay, let me try to say this in not an idiotic way. He's strong, but you know, I feel like having 50 shield, 50 health in my mind is a detriment because I feel like it's hard to work around it. I feel like having more, like, I'd rather just have the 100 health than 50-50. I know your shield regens back very much, but I just personally don't think it's good. I understand why they do it because he's a robot. Shield makes sense. I think the revolvers are really, really strong. Could be potentially really, really good. Up there with Bone, in my opinion. Up there with Bone. I just don't think he's as strong as I don't think he's as strong as I think he is. I think he's weaker than... I feel like looking at the roster right now, I think he's weaker than the guys above him. Athena. May the gods bless my fucking soul for where I'm about to put her. E tier. E tier. I think her gimmick is good and funny and cool. Of like, you start with the shield and you scale up thorns per level. So because you're kind of like, your idea is to just bump into shit and you're doing damage through thorns. I just really don't think it's good. I know it's for casual, but I really just don't think it's worth your time. I think you'll have more fun on, honestly, pretty much the whole roster. You'll have a lot more fun playing it. It's a very sluggish, slow play style, slow character. And it just doesn't really promote the fast nature of the game because you have to stop, bump into shit, bump into shit, bump into shit. Now, I have seen a couple of Athenas on the leaderboards once or twice. I don't know what they were building. I would love to have seen streams or recordings just so I can see what they're building, and maybe I might try it out, change my opinion. But I think she's probably the worst character. Robinette. Robinette, I think, is going to go into... I think A tier. I feel like my heart is telling me A tier. Robinette could be really, 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 really strong if you just do... Robinette, honestly, is one of those characters where it's like, your skill kind of dictates how well you do it, because she scales off of money. Like, she scales off of money, having a lot of money, because the more money you have, the more damage you have. So that I feel like is where the skill and the skill expression comes in, is balancing how much money you are willing to spend, hold, so on and so forth. I think she could be really, really strong for an endless run due to the fact that you're kind of just infinitely gaining money, so you're just infinitely scaling damage. It's a crazy thing, and I feel like it's strong. We are climbing along to our next character, Monkey. We get a quick round of applause for our fucking first S tier. Monkey is the GOAT. I don't care. Monkey is the best. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But I'm kidding. I think he's a B tier. I think he's a B tier. I think his bananas are fun to play around. Shout out Summit 1G and his banana build, where he had a quick crash out on how he couldn't see his character due to the fact that there were so many bananas and they were so large on screen, which was hilarious. I think Monkey is good, though. I really, really enjoy his passive. I enjoy his jump. I feel like his jump feels great. I feel like I'm gaining so much momentum. hopping around. I feel like I can keep my momentum. It feels great. And it feels awesome. Bananas, in my heart, are not that good. Like, they could be good. You can do a lot with them. I think every weapon on the board, I think every weapon in the game has extremely good, cool potential, strong potential. I think everything is well and useful. But I just think in my heart, Monkey altogether is a B tier for a casual run. I think he's worth playing. I think he's having a whole bunch of fun. And I think he's well, just good. Tony Mcoom. Tony Mcoom is a weird one. He's similar to Calcium, where that he has like a skateboard, but him is a hoverboard, and he gets a good movement out of it. Tony Mcoom has caused a lot of bugs and glitches with being able to just gain momentum. So has Calcium. They both caused a lot of problems for the dev. And the fact that they're able to gain so much momentum and just be gone out of the map instantly on the slightest hill. I think Tony Mcoom's weapon is good. I like the wireless daggers. I think, again, with bone and revolvers, the projectile bouncing feels really nice. It feels really strong. It feels really good for doing those wave clears. You get caught in a corner, they'll create an opening for you. I think they're great. I think Tony Mcoom is just a C tier. I don't really like his passive. I think his passive is kind of useless. Like, not useless, but just not as useful as I thought it would be. I kind of hoped it would be more useful, but that's all I can really say. Bush. I think Bush is going to be our D tier. Bush, I don't think is as bad as Athena, because you're still able to have movement and be able to move and still be killing enemies. And, you know, still be passively gaining XP, because it's like there's always XP on the ground where you've been. I think he's not so bad. I also think that it's really cool that he's the only character with a weapon you can ADS. I think that's really cool. I think that's an interesting gimmick you can deal with. I like his passive. His passive is just cool and interesting. It's kind of gimmicky, but it's cool and interesting. I just think altogether, he's not cool. Like, he's not really fun, and he doesn't feel rewarding to play. I think his drip is funny. I think the fact that he is like hidden in plain sight as like a bush with a sniper, I think it's cool. It reminds me of Modern Warfare. It reminds me of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2. Like a lot of those story missions and ghillie suit and all ghillied up. That mission in Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4. I think that was a great mission. I think Bush has a cool gimmick. I just don't think it's fun, in my opinion, to play as in the actual game. I think he's more of a gimmick character. Again, I still think you can do a lot with him and get far and have good runs with him. But I don't think it's because of Bush. I think it's because of your build. Amog. Bum bum. I think Amog has, I think he's a C tier. I feel like his passive is really fun and interesting, and I feel like it's fun to play around and well. It's hard to get out of the early game with him due to the fact of, like, it's hard to get out of like the first 5 minutes because of like his, like the bottles, like the flasks are so slow. You really don't have damage due to the fact that it's dots. So it's really, really hard to get kills, hard to get XP. I think you have to be more strategic with him, more smarter, really plan around your decisions, think about your decisions more, and really work around that. But I think he's a pretty strong C tier. I feel comfortable putting him in C tier. Now, drum roll, please. Boom! We have our first actual S tier of Bandit. Bandit and I have such a loving relationship. We are like 2 peas in a fucking pod. The Executioner, so fucking good. It is, in my opinion, one of the best weapons in the fucking game. And being able to start with it just feels so good. You can build it in any way. Attack speed, fucking projectiles. It's so good. I think his passive is, in my opinion, one of the best passives in the fucking game of attack speed. I think scaling that goes fucking crazy. Now, I've done a lot of research on how to get good endless runs, and almost every person, every content creator, every streamer always gives the same 4 tomes. difficulty tome, luck tome, XP tome, and attack speed tome. But with Bandit, you don't need attack speed tome. So that frees up a tome slot for wherever you want to go. If you want to build into the damage tome, if you want to build into the projectile tome, which I personally like doing because it's fun to see go, it's funny. But I do recommend building the damage because it allows you to scale better and do more damage, obviously. But I think Bandit is such just like, even just for casual play, he's super fun because of the fact that your runs will go longer, your runs will do better. Even if you're just trying to play casually, you will be doing better and more consistently because of his strong kit. His strong weapon, his strong passive, it gives you a great start. It gives you something to scale into. It gives you an idea of where you want to go. It's really strong. Ninja. Ninja's going into D tier. Ninja, I think, is going into D tier. He's not worse than Athena. I think Athena is like the least fun character to play in the game. From what I have played, like I said, I haven't played Birdos or Chadwell, Dicehead, Noel, or Spaceman yet, but when I do, I will let you know how I feel about them. How I feel about them. I will definitely make an updated tier list of this when I unlock and play those characters. I'm not going to do it for every character. Like if I unlock Birdo, I'm not going to make a new tier list. I'm not going to make a whole new video. I'm going to wait. I unlock all the 5 and then because by that time I'll have played all the roster more. I'll have played them a lot and I can make a better judgment. But back to Ninja. Ninja. No deep. Sorry. Ninja's passive basically forces you to build into the evasion tome, which kind of sucks to do. I know evasion is can be pretty good, but being forced to do it just to get value out of a passive is a bit frustrating, and it feels like you're not really getting a choice on your tomes. Kind of sucks a little bit because you're kind of like, if you want to get value out of it, the game's not really letting you, but if you don't get value out of it, it just feels useless. So it doesn't really feel strong. It doesn't really feel good. It doesn't really feel fun to play, in my opinion. I think the sword, the samurai sword or the katana, sorry, is a really good weapon. I think his weapon is phenomenal. I think it's really strong. It's really potent. You can build it in many ways with different tomes and different weapon setups. I think it's really strong. But I just don't think him as a character is just good overall. Vlad, I think is a pretty strong A tier. I like the idea of Vlad because it's like, my main problem is survivability and defense. Not actual defense, like the defense tome or the defense stat, but more survivability. With Vlad's passive allows you to build into lifesteal, allows you to passively gain lifesteal with every level. So that kind of takes away one of my worries of either getting items or getting lucky with shrines to get some passive healing or get something to help me heal. I feel like it takes away that stress and that worry because it's like, eventually I'll be perfectly fine. And I think blood magic is cool and fun. They're in the early days of the game, like pre-beta, pre-released, the game testers before he even went beta were able to take Vlad and be able to break it with his weapon, which I thought was cool and interesting to watch. I think Vlad is a strong A tier. Now, I want to recap. Bandit S tier, GOAT character. Really, if you haven't unlocked him or you haven't played him, you haven't tried him, please, I beg you, play him, try him, give him at least 10 runs, and just see where it goes. And if you like him, you like him. You don't, you don't. Calcium, Fox, Ogre, Robinette, Vlad, A tier. I think I'm actually going to put Calcium into S tier. I really like thinking about it. I think Calcium deserves an S tier. I think he's really strong. I think he's really good. Fox, Ogre, Robinette, Vlad. I think these guys are really strong, really good. Great passives, great weapons. Ogre, axes are debatable, but still great overall. Mega Chad Monkey, really fun. They're not really as strong, but they're really fun. They have great potential. They have a really strong, sometimes Monkey, they don't really have really strong kits, but they have really strong kit potential. Sir Uffi, Clank, Tony Mcoom, and Amog. I think they're middle of the road. They're not really terrible, but they're not overly good at anything. They're not overly really fun to play as. They're not really, you know, they're kind of just bleh. Like, they're not really bad, not terrible, but they're just kind of bleh. On to D tier. Bush, Ninja, and Athena. Bush and Ninja, I put them in D tier because in my opinion, they are really not fun to play as, just not really fun and not consistent. I think they have good potential. They have good potential. I think you can, I feel like if you play a certain way and have like a certain setup, you can do well with them. But I just like overall, I just really dislike playing as them, and I really would not recommend playing them at all. Athena, I think Athena just sucks. It's an interesting gimmick. It's cool. It's interesting to think about. It's interesting in play. I just think she sucks ass, in my opinion. I just think she's not worth playing. I mean, obviously on Locker, you wanna get the achievement, stuff like that. I mean, personally, try her. If you like her gimmick, be my guest. Enjoy it. It's your game. You paid for it. Play it how you want to play it. Don't let my tier list tell you how to play the game. I am just trying to spread my information and my opinion on the game. And for the don't have tier, Birdo, Sir Chadwell, Dicehead, Noel, and Spaceman. We'll be getting those guys in the future. And I want to end this off on a positive note. MegaBonk is such a fun, addictive game. I recommend it to anybody who likes roguelikes, roguelites, anybody who likes Vampire Survivors. Really, you should give it a try. I would always recommend buying it on sale. I don't think paying full price for games is the way to go. Waiting for sales, always, because it becomes more bang for your buck. You're getting like 200 hours of a game, maybe even more, potentially thousands for a cheaper price. It's always more worth it and you feel great. But that's going to end it off for today, for today's tier list, the MegaBonk tier list. Thank you, Swintocracy viewers. If you want to see me unlock these characters, go check out my Twitch down in the description. Like, subscribe, and that is a deuces.